Hello and good afternoon, everyone. I welcome all of you to another session, another webinar on behalf of positivity. Today's topic is high functional trauma. This is something which we might notice more physiologically, more experientially on a daily basis, but a lot of us might not know where it is stemming from and how it is manifesting on a day to day basis. Maybe I am doing it, maybe my loved ones are doing it, but what is it called? Where is it stemming from? How do I go about managing that? Do I need help? Do I need to talk about it? If I do, then where to start from? These can all be questions which we might not have answers about. So this is a platform and this is a conversation which can bring insights to all of you around those questions. And even if you think this is not applicable to you, but you have noticed that a colleague or a friend or people around are showing these signs and symptoms, we can always act as somebody who can provide the right resources to people around us. So without further ado, I would like to invite our speaker today, Ms. Annapurna Thakuria. She has been associated with positivity for quite some time, and you might be seeing her quite regularly doing these sessions with us because her expertise is so vast and extensive around these areas. She sees population across adults and couples and adolescents who go through daily basis of mood related, personality related, stress related challenges, and she helps them meet their best potential and come out from those challenges or cope with them better. She's a counseling psychologist with several years of experience, and today her expertise can become a bridge between our lack of knowledge to gaining some further experiences and answers to all the questions that we might be looking through this webinar. So, Annapurna, thank you for joining, and please take us forward into this conversation. I think we are experiencing some technical glitch.
Um, Thank you, Shatadeepa.
Yeah, okay, you're
Am I
back.
audible? I just want to
Yes.
clear because there was some glitch and something froze.
Yes. Now it's fine. The video was frozen for some time. Yes. Hello?
Hello. Hi, Shatadeepa. Am I audible? Visible?
I can
Anything?
hear you, but the
Okay.
video is freezing.
Yeah, right. Same goes on my screen as well.
Okay.
While you were, I mean, your video is freezing. It froze long time ago, and I can
Mm-hmm.
hear you though.
Okay.
Um. Anyway, I think I can start.
You can get started because audio is clear, and I think
All
with
right.
some time the video can get normalized again.
Okay. Thank you once again. Hi,
Sure.
everyone. Good afternoon. Um, Thank you for joining today. So, before we start our webinar today, I would like to ask a very common question that we almost every day answer to. And almost every day we answer it with a lie. And it is, how are you? So, we most often in today's modern world with us urban professionals, we answer it as, I am fine. I'm good. I'm busy, but I'm grinding. Most often, almost, we do not never answer the truth. But have you thought about it? Have you thought what is the real truth? Because we will be discussing exactly the same today in this webinar. We would be discussing what is behind I am fine, what is behind I am good, and what is behind I am grinding. Once again, welcome to High Functioning Trauma. We will not dive into detail about what high functioning trauma is, how we can solve it, but we will be identifying the symptoms, identifying the signs, and go through how we can manage it, um, or how far we can manage it, individual, by individual help. And also, I'll be telling you. Later at the end of the webinar what other things we can do to manage this trauma, or what are the other steps we can take. All right. So I'm going to definitely show you some slides, but I'm going to start with another example. Most of you must have know by now that I give a lot of examples. Um, I want you to imagine that you have a big meeting coming up where you'll be showing maybe some slides, some presentation, and you have to prepare. I mean, you have already prepared a pitch and everything. So you have to go and give a presentation. So you are in the meeting room, you look calm, you look professional. Um, Everybody's very pleased to see you, and you stand there very confident, but inside, you know that just 5 minutes before the meeting, you were inside the restroom, trembling, your heart was in your throat, and you were looking at the mirror, and maybe you were looking at your teeth, not because you were looking for some food stuck on your teeth, but you were looking for if there is any visible mark of biting or pain, because you were biting your lips, you were clenching your teeth so hard that it started to pain in your jaw. Now, if you can relate to this, this webinar is exactly for you today. Okay, I'm gonna show you my slides. So when we say high functioning trauma, so it does not mean your basic trauma where people might think it's all about um, sadness, grief, uh, maybe depression or anything. But here, trauma, when we're talking about high functioning trauma, it's for the urban professionals, the people who are grinding day and night for their work, who do not have something called as boundary, who work past their working hours, who do not have a definite line where they can say that they have, they have stopped, or they have the time for what is professional and what is personal in their life. Okay, so part one is identification. So here we will deconstruct what is commonly known as a successful professional. All right. So you know the person who might look very smart, very confident, very bold, who is always, almost never uh, failed in a meeting, who is always charming, always the one who does his job, his or her job. But inside, this person is almost always vibrating with anxiety, with panic, with fear. What if something goes wrong? What if one thing goes wrong? What if somebody criticizes? Because they fear criticism so much, they might feel that if there is even a slight error in my slides, if there is even a slight error in what I speak, if there is a small grammatical error or a pronunciation error when I talk to high professionals, when I talk to high clients, maybe maybe I'll run out of this job. Maybe I'm going to get fired. We call this the success mask. Okay, outside, this man or this woman is very successful. They have, visible um, rewards of being a successful person at work. But inside, they're troubling. They are almost never in peace. Now, what are the symptoms? Let's just see what is hiding behind this achievement or behind this success mask. So, like I said, trauma does not always look like withdrawal or sadness. When we talk about professionals, it looks like over excellence. It looks like high achievement. Number one symptom or number one thing that you can identify is overworking. Now, this person that we are talking about is never still. Whenever this person does not have any work to do, they would ask for more work. Okay, because they cannot stay silent, they cannot stay still. That is their nervous system asking for more work as a defense mechanism to hide their anxiety, because they do not have any idea how to manage without working. Because when they're working, the brain is very busy, maybe um, whatever past life experiences they have, or uh, you know maybe some anxious thoughts they have, they try to you know remove them or displace them, just layering them with work over work. Now when we see somebody who is overworking, we might from the outside look like this person is giving his best, he's always never drops the ball, is always everything in calm, in control. But as psychologist, I can say that this person never rests. Physically, yes, mentally, never. His brain is always acting, is always in action, and almost never calm. Now, we'll get to more details once when we'll see across the slides, and then you'll be understanding more well about what I'm talking about. Second is perfectionism. That means just to prevent any error, any criticism, this urban professional would, you know, consider every notes, hooks, and pages, sorry, that should be perfect. So this person has this quality that we can call it as perfectionism, but behind the tag of perfectionism is hidden fear of being criticized, hidden fear of being maybe humiliated. All right. So that is what this person would try and try to make everything correct, even outside his or her work boundaries, even outside their work time limit. And that is the reason why we would find people working on one project for days without sleep, without good sleep, working without proper meal, proper rest, just to say that the outside is the project would come up the best, the perfect, no worry. But inside this human being, forget the professional for a moment, this human being is overworked, overtired, and just burned out. And third is people pleasing. So this is something more common and more often you might have come across people, or you might be one of them as well. So who is a people pleaser? People pleaser is somebody who pleases people, who accepts people, um, and most often never say no to any work, even if they do not have time. Now, let's say that this person had a family trip going on, or upcoming family trip in the next month, let's say. But next month, the boss, the company where this person works at, comes up saying that, you have to attend this group of clients on this and that week of, let's say, June. But our person has already booked flight tickets, hotel, and it was supposed to be a family tour. But he or she cannot say no. Why? Because he's a people pleaser. Because they ensure that others should feel that he's the best or she's the best. They cannot say no, because if they say so, they would be considered, they think they would be considered not very sincere at his work. All right. So that fear would always make the person please others. I do have some words that people use in day to day life, which is not very appropriate to use, but you can imagine if that words are coming in your head, then they are those words. So, all right. So, we have talked about three signs: overworking, perfectionism, and people pleasing. Now, how do we know that we are one of them? How do we know that we are going through high functioning trauma? Now, since I've already, before starting this slides, I've already told you that today we are not going to dive in into more, psychological values. Today would be more about just identifying these so that you can reflect, and we'll be talking about management so that at least one or two, because I'm going to give you a few of them. So you're gonna go and select a few or one or two at least, and try reflecting those and try to apply those onto your own life and see if that is working. Now, why we are doing this? Why are we talking about identification and not diving more into psychological uh, issues in detail? Because I think, first of all, identification is important. And then comes the next step, which could be what is going on. See, when we ignore high functioning trauma, in this case, will come, like we have said, over working, when you cannot stay still without working, this would lead to severe effects like burnout. What is burnout? When you are exhausted, mentally exhausted, you do not get new ideas, you are just trapped inside that um, mind race of yours where it doesn't just come up calm, and you are just stuck, and you cannot do well in your productivity. Now, why is this important for you? If you are not already burned out, if you are just in the process of, let's say, understanding yourself, being one of the victim of high functioning trauma, then you would understand that if you're a corporate worker, you might have seen people turnover, high cases of turnover, or incidents where people might suffer from a lot of mental health issues due to overwork. So high functioning trauma is one of the reason why this can happen. All right. So how do you find out if your body is already on, always on, like your switch is always on? The first thing is that your nervous system never powers down. That means you always feel restless. You're never calm. So I've had clients before, okay? I've had clients come to me and they tell me that, ma'am, when I get work, I'm fine. I would ask for more work. I'm fine learning new work as well. If I'm not good at something, I would ask them to teach me, train me, and then I would try harder to even do better than those trainees or the trainers. All right. So, but then they say me that, ma'am, I cannot stay still. Whenever I do not have any work to do, I either go around looking for work. If I don't have work, I feel like I'm going crazy. I get all sort of negative thoughts coming up to me. I think about issues that happened to me in childhood, something, some matter that I could have solved when I was in college, and I want to run away from those thoughts. So this is another topic why actually people hop around this, not leaving, or why on they are on this mode, because every individual has their own different reason. This was one of the reason what I said, as one of my client also. So they would always feel restless, they would hop around, they would like they do not have work, they would just like to clench their teeth or maybe bite their fingers because they do not have anything else to do. Then is your sleep debt. So even if this person or a person gets 8 hours of sleep, let's say at night, still they wake up feeling very tired, feeling as if they have not rested even after they have slept for good 8 hours. If you can recognize any of these symptoms, it's high time that you do consider what I'm speaking and what I'm about to speak more. and reflect upon yourself. Another sign to look about if your body is constantly on is body pains. Now, body pain not by some physical injury, all right? It could be because of chronic tension. You would be having headaches almost regularly, at least on your backside of your head or, on your temples, commonly known as stress headache. You can Google it about it. So these type of headaches that comes on behind your head, the neck part and your head, mostly because of overworking yourself. This is your brain, this is your body telling you that you are doing enough. This is your nervous system telling that you're doing enough, but your brain would just, grind and grind and grind. Your shoulders feel stiff. And one more thing is that you wake up in the morning feeling there are visible or a pain in your jaw. That means the entire night you have slept with your teeth clenched like this. This is something that I myself have faced when I was in university, when I was, working day and night for my thesis. And I have also heard about these symptoms from my clients and colleagues as well. They have severe pain in their jaw, and they do not understand why. It's not a gum problem, it's not a tooth decay or any root canal problem. It is because this person was sleeping with their jaw clenched so tightly that when they woke up they would literally have to do this exercise, and those kind of things, because they would, there's chronic tension, something, the brain is always on the move. Even if they were asleep, the brain was doing something. You see how dangerous it can be? Now, control versus perfection. The person who has a trauma mindset, I'm talking about high functioning trauma here, would think as in everything must be perfect because any mistake feels like a threat. I've already said this, right? It feels like a threat to your professional safety. And this person thinks I cannot delegate because I don't trust others to keep me safe. This person does not trust that any work. Okay, here is the what mindset they have. So let's say this person has to go home by 5 p.m. and there is this one, and tomorrow this person is on leave and his leave has been accepted. Now there is an important, let's say, an important documentation that has to be done in the company, but there are other people in his position who are capable of doing so tomorrow when they come in office. But this person, the trauma mindset person, is not able to accept that it is safer for this file or this document to be documented by somebody else. I have to do it, is what they are thinking. I would do it better. I'll do it perfect. I don't trust others to do it. And now it's already 5. I need to be home now, or I should at least, tidy my desk and leave. But I am thinking that nobody else is going to do this work. I do not want to be dependent on others. This is my work. Because they would put everything under their shoulders. They would do it for themselves. Nobody has asked to, but then they would think it on themselves that they would not do it. And even if this person decides ki let it go, I won't do it, let XYZ handle this, and he leaves home. Now this person is not calm even at his home. He would constantly check his phone. Every ping would remind him that it's a notification, it's a message from home, from office. But in actual, it was just a spam data from his, mobile service network. It was just a ping from unnecessary ad. So even if he's with his children, even if his with his family around, the constant mind, his mind is constantly at his phone, at his every notification sound. And at last, this person would be so annoyed and they would just call the colleague and like, hey, what's up? Is everything coming up? How is this happening? Is everything going well? Now, this is not happening at the work hours. This is happening late hours at his own private time, at his family time, home time, out of work schedule. But his mind just cannot be calm. You might think this is normal. This is how a sincere person looks like. This is how a good employee should, you know, be. Oh, come on. He's, after all, this person is also a human being. If you keep a TV or if you keep a computer on for hours, even that would blast. And this person is a human being. If they work day and night and without rest, they are bound to be exhausted. They're bound to be burned out. So no doubt sincerity is important, but not at the cost of his health. All right. Okay. Now, what is a healthy mindset? The healthy mindset would say mistakes are just data. I'm safe even if this project has a flaw. I have given my 100%. Okay. I tried to give my polished output. If something is wrong, if something is error, that is okay. We would try not to make it other time, but whatever has happened is not the problem in my experience. It's not my problem in the personhood. It's not my value that is being affected. Trying to understand that every mistake that we do is okay. Even the computer makes mistake. We are all human. We can, even in high corporate jobs, we are allowed to make mistakes. Not everything is a threat. All right. Now let's come to management. If there is any doubt, we can talk about it later. I mean, uh, but I've just pointed out, some of the basic things. Like if you want, like we can go back. We have the symptoms of the physical symptoms, the mental symptoms, that we are not always calm, we are always in restless, we're not at peace whenever we are at home. We are just thinking about work, thinking about how it has turned out. And the healthy mindset is what is actually we are looking for. Now, how do we manage all this? All right, I've talked about identifying the symptoms, but what is most important in today's webinar is the management of these symptoms. All right, if you or your colleague or anybody you know has any, at least one or two of the symptoms in their or are facing, if you can identify at least one or two, do share the management techniques. Okay, to share this video, to share by yourself as well. And these are going to be some practical strategies. This is not just something very hard. These are going to be very practical strategies. I'm going to start with individual techniques or strategies that you can do at an individual level. We'll start with the Eisenhower decision metrics. Now, given by the name Eisenhower decision metrics, do not panic, guys. It's not something very huge. It's not rocket science. It's as simple as just making a Word document. It does come with all sorts of big short name, but we have a very simple calculation. We have a very simple formula for this. Here, whatever early morning, what you need to do is you have to organize your work, or what you're going to work, into four quadrants. Quadrants as in into four, divide into four quadrants. Like make a box either in your head, or if it's too much for your head, just take a copy, just take a journal, just take a notebook. I advertise so much about journaling that every video that I talk about, you will see me talking about journaling. So make use of that. Take a diary, take a copy. I have three for each and every different topics. So have one for that. You can either do it early in the morning for taking a cup of coffee, chai, whatever, or before bed, the night before, if you want to. No force though. If you have free time, just make a chart, divide into four quadrants, and see what you can do tomorrow, or the upcoming week, or you have to divide your work into four quadrants. Not everything is emergency, right? Not everything is urgent. And if you do not plan it beforehand, because most of us urban professionals, what happens with us is that we do not have a good planning. And because we do not plan well, we think that we end up doing something which is not very, very important or very, very urgent or at the moment. And then what was urgent was left behind. And, the deadline was coming soon, and we would feel more anxious, more panic. So here's the thing. Once again, I'm repeating. I know you guys must have feeling bored right now, but yes, divided into four quadrants. Number one is do it now. Now, this box is something that you would consider as very urgent and very important. Here comes all the tasks that you need to attend right now. Okay, these were the tasks that you need for your immediate attention, like sending an important mail, or the deadline of the project was today noon, so you'll have to send this before noon. Okay, these are the types of task that you would consider in slot number one. Now, second is schedule. This is not as important as doing urgent work right now. Here, we can take some time, buy some time, and do it later. We can schedule it. So let's say there is an upcoming meeting with a client, and I have to send the clients all the agenda. The meeting is, let's say, the 30th of this month. Today is 2nd. So I can schedule it to send maybe after 20th, right? So this can be scheduled. Okay, if this is too long, then let's say I have coming up that, let's say you have something, an important task coming up next week. Today is Saturday. All right, tomorrow is Sunday. Then we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and maybe the meeting or that event is on Friday. So all the important tasks you do it in one, but something that can be scheduled, that can be done by Wednesday or Thursday. Make points. Okay, this is for not very urgent but important task that needs uh, you know later attention, so it can be scheduled. Okay. And on the third slot is urgent. This is also urgent, but you know somebody else can do it for us. A delegate. We can um, ask someone else from the company, from our job, from our wherever we are working, our workspace, someone else to do it for us. Someone else who does not have a lot of workload for now, who is also in the current same rank or does has similar experiences as us. We would ask them. And it's very simple to ask them. I don't need to teach you. Just go and tell that, if you are available, would you like to consider this work to be done? If that person accepts, great. If not, find another one. You would, have some faith on others as well. They are also in the company because they have worth, right? So ask others to be your delegate. And similarly, when they'll have some issues later, when you are free, they would ask you to do so. Something when which you'll be doing on your work time, okay, not outside. And there are things which people need to eliminate. Not everything needs to be, into your list, into your list of important tasks or to-do list. Something that can be eliminated, something either you can delete it or you can keep it for the last, something very trivial. So when you are making an Eisenhower decision matrix, when you're making your quadrants, you would come to know what these four quadrants will be sitting. If you are here, if you want to take a screenshot, do not forget to take a screenshot about the slides, and remember about it. All right, four quadrants. Do it now. Schedule a time. The second one. Third is find a person for you, a delegate. And fourth, eliminate it, delete it. Or if you do not want to delete it, do it sometime later. Next is the Pomodoro method. So Pomodoro method is for us people who are, professionals who constantly work constantly are on their laptop, constantly on, on their work, be it maybe whatever they're doing. All right. So when we are working, in a high functioning trauma, it makes us work for straight hours, maybe 5 hours, 6 hours, which leads to burnout. Sometimes we forget to have a meal. We skip meals. We forget to get in touch with our family. Maybe, the partner is calling, but we forget to pick up the phone. Why? Because we are working. This method then comes handy, which is the Pomodoro method, which trains our brain that the rest is mandatory, not a reward for finishing. Now, when I was already talking about how rest can work, I'm sure you might have thought that how can I take rest? I have so much work to do. Where should I take rest? Then this part is for you. You might see this small drawing here, the diagram, which says 25 focus, 5 rest. That means, I'll tell you what it means. It brings us to the next slide, which is how you do the Pomodoro technique. So 25 minutes rest, work, focus at your work, 5 minutes rest. So whatever work you have, whatever task you have, take the task. Let's say, I'll give you a most easy task. So the task is making a presentation for your next meeting, the which is maybe tomorrow. Okay. So I know in corporate world you have to make slides after slides almost daily for some presentation, and you do not get a lot of time. So I'll take that example for you. So you have the task of making a slides or a presentation. You can take your cell phone, these days are available, or you can take an alarm clock. Set the timer for 25 minutes. For 25 minutes you work you know with minimal distraction. There should not be any kind of noise. Your phone should be on silent or be quiet, do not disturb mode. Until the alarm goes off, you work. The alarm goes off 25 minutes later. For 5 minutes, for the next 5 minutes, you shut down your laptop, or at least keep it in sleep mode. For 5 minutes, you do not work. You go out, you walk, you drink water, you take some fresh air at your balcony, or just send a text to a friend. But I would consider say that, give a break from your screen time. Enjoy the peace outside. And if you are someone who's living in big cities, then just walk around the office, drink some water, smile at some colleagues, and then come back 5 minutes later, work again. Repeat. This should be done for 4 circles or 4 cycles, which is known as 4 Pomodoros. All right. So do for 4 cycles. 25 minutes work, 5 minutes rest. 25 minutes work, 5 minutes rest. 25, 5, 25, 5. Do it for 4 cycles or 4 Pomodoros. And then take a longer break for 20 minutes or 30 minutes where go get your lunch, have a nice chat, take some cold drink if you want, take some coffee, take some chai, relax, come back, repeat. This is something you can try for yourself whenever you have something big coming up, something big discussion. This can also be done when you are brainstorming. If you're brainstorming for a product, if you're brainstorming for some solution to come up, then this is something that you can work upon. 25 minutes focus, 5 minutes rest. Nobody talks about work for this 5 minutes. You do not keep on thinking about any more ideas. You rest. You go to the washroom, um, maybe drink some water, and then be back. Repeat for 25 minutes focus and then 5 minutes break. All right, I hope this Pomodoro cycle is clear for you. Now, what can we do with our physical body? Remember when we were talking about Pomodoro, I said about the 5 minutes rest. Here comes what we can do at those 5 minutes time. Number one, cold exposure. Just splash some water on your face. Open your specs though if you're wearing one. Splash cold water on your face. This would signal your heart to slow down instantly. All right. So when you get the 5 minutes break or whenever you are just feeling the ick, you cannot handle it. The screen time is getting too much for you. You just want to walk away. Go splash some cold water from the basin on your face. The second one is the 478 breathing method. This is for your nervous system. How do you do it? Let me show you. So 478, let's do it together. I'll be here guiding you through and you behind the screen. Um, okay. So 478. 4 minutes inhale, 7 minute will hold the breath, and then exhale for 8 minutes. 8 seconds, not eight. Was I saying minutes? I'm gonna sorry for that. Seconds, 4 seconds. You cannot hold your breath for 7 minutes, guys. Don't do that. I'm sorry. 7 seconds. So 478. Okay, let's do it. So I'm gonna count. So you have to breathe in for 4 seconds. Count in your head. Hold it for 7, and then breathe out for 8 seconds. So it's very difficult for me to count on outside and then hold it for you. But you can do it for yourself. I hope this is clear. 4 seconds, you'll inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. And hold it for 7 seconds. Breathe out from your mouth. You have to breathe out from your mouth, okay? Exhale 8 seconds. Now this is going to give you a break, going to give a rest for your nervous system, and it'll force your nervous system to take a break, or your brain to take a break. The third one is sensory fasting. This is not fasting as in fasting from your mouth, but fasting your sense organs. So here we would do 10-minute total silence and darkness to reset after a loud day. This can be done after work at home. No more devices, no laptop, no tablet, no phone. Away from that, keep it on silent, not on vibration, just silent or switch off, whatever, for 10 minutes. Sit inside a dark room. Okay, if it's very hot, blast on the AC, the fan, and reset. Just stay calm. If you can meditate, well and good, but not all of us can meditate sometimes when so many things are going on in our head, right? So for those of us who cannot meditate, you can do the 478 technique at that moment, or just be calm. Nobody to disturb you. You can tell your family also, they'll also cooperate, right? For 10 minutes, that would be your sensory fasting. You do not see anything because of the dark. You do not hear anything. You do not pay attention to anything. Just sit there. Sit there, relax your body for 10 minutes. All right. Now, how do we reclaim the boundaries? Number one, this is something that I talk about a lot, is setting your boundaries. But how do you set boundaries in work setting? Number one, do not respond to, try not to respond to emails or uh, let's say messages which are not very urgent. So remember the word not very urgent, all right? Not very urgent emails who do not need your immediate attention. You can reply late. Take at least 15 minutes delay. Okay, take at least 15 minutes period to reply back. If not, this would lead to a trauma driven panic response that would always keep you in the loop, that I have to reply to this, I have to reply to this in just 15 minutes. Oh, I've got a message, I have to reply. Not every message needs your attention. If somebody has messaged you saying that, hey, please do not forget to send your this and that by tomorrow. You do not need to say, yeah, got it, Roger, that immediately. You can take a break. You can respond 15 minutes later. Second one is the no rule policy, which I say as, do not say yes to each and everything that comes your way. Try saying, let me check my schedule first. Even if you do not have a schedule, try saying that. This would at least, make your brain calm down for some moment, or you get to think, because most of the times we say yes and then later regret. So when you say that, I'm going to have to check back with my schedule, I'm going to reply you in a few minutes or a few hours, let's say, it gives your brain time to think about, and then you'll not take a good decision. You'll take a good decision and not be regret later. You'll not regret that, why did I say yes, I should have said no. So practice that. Let me get back to you, let me check my schedule, instead of direct yes. Even if you want to say it yes so badly, try saying this, because that would then help you, practice. All right. So we are coming towards the end of us, almost the end. So I have talked about, making management, uh, let's say Eisenhower matrix or Pomodoro. But how do you know where or when to work it? So I have laid down this one map for your energy. You'll have to figure it out by yourself. So all of us have different energy uh, rise and highs, high and lows in day. But most often, when we wake up, our energy is always high. In the morning when we wake up, our energy is always high, it's always peak. So do all the high threat work, like preparing the decks, preparing your pitches, preparing any kind of important information, calling a high profile client. Do that in the morning. Why? Because your nervous system would always trigger work, right? It would trigger you to do something perfect. So you try doing these kind of high threat activities in the early hours of your day, when you after you wake up, or early as you go to work. If you're working 9 to 5, try doing it before lunch. When you're before lunch, let's say 1 hour before lunch, not directly before lunch. Let's say if you're having your lunch break around 1, then try doing it before 12. All right, so 9 to 12, you have the time limit where your hours, energy is speaking. Do all the important high threat activities there. Then comes the post lunch era, where we are a bit tired, where we sometimes feel like drowsiness or a little weak. Do not keep high profile work there. Keep works like arranging, okay, like clearing your not clearing, arranging your documents, sending some simple emails, which would help your brain to recover. Now, then there is something called as integration gap. After every meeting, after every important call, take a 5 minutes break. Like I said in the Pomodoro effect, right? But if you're in a meeting, you would not be able to take Pomodoro method. But then um, after the meeting, after something important, call or let's say a work, take a gap, clear the cache data, from your mind, relax, sit back, relax, take a deep breathing, and then come back. So this would help you integrate. These are the techniques I'm talking about, how you can manage your high functioning trauma. Something to look for. See, we do not want criticism, right? Nobody wants. But when you're struggling for perfectionism, you're almost always going for extra tough on yourself, because you are always looking for polishing the your, say, your project or your task. You spend minor details, hours and hours on these things. But how about you be satisfied on just good enough, and do not try to be the perfectionist person, because that would help your work as well as yourself as well. So how do you do it? You set a timer um of 30 minutes. So in 30 minutes I'll do this, and if in this 30 minutes whatever happens, that is going to be final, and you'll move on from that task. You would not wait after the alarm goes off. You'll not wait for another 2 3 minutes, because it'll never be 2 3 minutes, and then you'll try to minor engage in minor detailing, trying to get everything perfect, and you'll see that in 2 hours you have just changed the fonts. This is the only detail you have done in 2 hours. It loses a lot of energy, a lot of time as well. So set a time and try to think good enough. Because recall, guys, every time you tried being perfect, you have maybe moved only some slides from here to there in the name of being perfectionist. That is how high functioning trauma is for us. So prove your brain that good enough is okay. Set an alarm for 30 minutes. You work on it, and if there's in 30 minutes, whatever happens, that is final. You send it or you save that. Now, what else? Just let's just wrap it up with what are the other things that we can do. We have talked about so many things, but what other things that can help us um, simultaneously along with whatever we have spoken right now? Number one is good sleep. Try getting good sleep, as in not just 8 hours of sleep, but real sleep where you are resting, what we call as REM sleep. Have nutritious and balanced diet and try avoiding caffeine, too much caffeine and alcohol, because that would make your body weaker. Try to get good amount of good balanced meal and healthy diet. Stay hydrated. Drink lots of water. 8 glasses of water, that is almost minimum. And if in this heat, especially in the summers, try drinking some more water and avoid caffeine as much as possible. Avoid alcohol as much as possible, both work during work hours and post work hours as well. Now, prefer workplaces that hold mental health programs. If your workplace, if you're looking for jobs, try looking for places that conducts mental health seminars, mental health trainings, mental health programs. Even if you do not belong to mental health profession or mental health institute, because modern day companies are providing mental health programs and trainings to their corporate employees. So look for them, look for those places. And if not, if you're already in a place where these are not there or available, you can maybe talk to your HR, talk to somebody higher. And if you're already in a higher position, maybe you can think about applying, mental health programs and trainings for your employees and for yourself as well. Next is building resilience by developing emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence like self awareness. Now, how do we develop self awareness? Yes, you can do journaling, or you can even go to therapy for, this developing your self awareness, and also social skills. That means try, so we'll come to it. Then mindfulness and meditation practices. So try to um, do mindfulness, get meditation, even for 10 minutes. There are many, many meditation techniques which do not require you to sit down for a full 1 hour or 45 minutes, in a peace mode. But you can do meditation in just 10 hours, which we call it as, there are many. I can give you examples of body scan meditation, or, there is some progressive muscle relaxation techniques that can be done. You can take help from therapist even, or sometimes some things, easy things are also available for you in YouTube. And also developing a good social network. Whatever when we say about social network, that means your colleagues, your friends, they should not be toxic. We are already somehow a toxic work environment is something that is very common these days. So we do not want our social network to be toxic as well, right? So we do not want ourselves to be toxic, because we do not want us, um, to be hampering others, harming others as well as ourselves. So yes, developing a good social network is very, very important. And if whatever I have said and you feel that you are having these problems, if you are going through signs of headache, signs of constant clutching your jaws, or constantly you are not able to keep silent, keep still, or you're always grinding for work, you're always struggling um, to be working and not finding your peace, maybe you can reach out for therapeutic guidance. Maybe you can talk about something that would help you further, something would that would um, make you more self-aware, that would help you go and understand what is wrong and give you strategies on how to feel better. So if you're already past these symptoms, and if you feel that you're way ahead of the identification symptoms that I've already spoken about, then maybe you can think about going into therapy, which is very safe, confidential, and we here at Positivity also take clients, and you have, uh, let me share my screen once again with you all. So, all right, I hope you are seeing my screen. This is the Positivity website. You have to just click as positivity.com. Please remember that we do not have one I in the last witty, so it's positivity without an I. Do remember this. Um, okay, so here, this is the website where you'll find our top rated mental health professionals. And then there are also packages made. There are also, according to your concerns, you'll be able to find your therapist. So here you can see here is my therapist, my profile. So you see, I have uh, my some package available. This is how you can see my details. Um, and I have sessions for 30 minutes, for 60 minutes, for 90 minutes, whatever you feel is comfortable. I work mostly Monday to Saturday from 6 p.m. to 12, 11, 12 p.m. Yeah, that is how I work. So not 12 p.m., 11 p.m. Yeah. So you can find me here if you need help. This is my profile. There are so many other profiles as well. But if you want to book me, you can just book me here. I do work with professionals who are having difficulties in their corporate world, who are going through stress, who are going through burnout. So before we end, I would just make a quick recap of what we talked today. We talked about high functioning trauma, which in psychological language is about when we do not feel calm in our mind, when we are very restless, we want to work and constantly work and try to be perfect. Fear of criticism is there. We talked about bodily, we talked about identification symptoms. We talked about how our mind is identifies high functioning trauma, how our physical self identifies high functioning trauma. And then we also talked about how to manage those. I talked about Eisenhower decision metrics, where we talked about the four quadrants. I hope you have remembered that. Then we have talked about Pomodoro effect. We have talked about energy mapping. We talked about physical, bodily things that you can do, like splashing cold water, breathing techniques, which I think you should go and practice immediately after this session. If you have not practiced with me on live, then I would suggest that go do it for yourself and tell later on. You might leave a comment in YouTube that how you are feeling after the exercise, and then try these symptoms. If you feel that this none of these symptoms are working for you, or the strategies are not working for you, and if you feel that if you or your colleagues, you are seeing somebody who's really struggling with these high functioning trauma, then follow, more. You can look up in the positivity website, like I have shown. You can book the therapist according to your choice. You can also book me, and I've already shown you that. And yeah, that is all for today. I hope it was easy for you to understand. I did try my best to explain you in very easy words about what high functioning trauma looks like, how do we identify them, and if you need help, positivity is always with you. Um, so thank you so much for today, everyone. Thank you for giving your time and um, joining us. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much,
Bye
ma'am, for
bye.
this wonderful session. And I would like the viewers to follow us on our Instagram, YouTube, and whatever social handles, and start your mental health journey today only. So, thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.